republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, Jerry, you are first up.
All right. Got a few reports here. Bad weather and stuff we had, so we're running behind on that.
We had a little bit of weather, didn't we?
Just for a couple of days.
Yep. Got the total attendance for last year, and the top chief was Pete Gillett at 152 calls, and the top member was Otis Bezos. That was 100 and 144 calls. 12 of 2025, we had 37 calls that month. And the top responder was Otis Bezos that month. We had 2 MBAs and 3 structure fires that month. On the first of this year, we got off to what I was hoping was going to be a good start. We only had 19 calls for the month of January, which was looking good, but we made up for that in February. The top responder for January was Andrew Dion. We had 4 structure fires in January and 3 MBAs. That's 37. And February we had 28 calls for that month and 5 structure fires and 2 MBAs. And the top responder for that month was Otis Bezos.
Believe it or not.
Yep. We had some the air bottles were done. We've lost some air bottles. From age. And some are getting hydroed. We don't know what the status will be for return. And we had to take some out of service after the last few house fires that were outdated. We finally got the location where they couldn't be filled again. So we're still pretty good on numbers because of the ones we acquired before, but we've got to be thinking about next year or so, starting to add some new ones back in, so they're not all run out at the same time.
Let us know when we get there.
Yep. We got the packing is leaking on E34. And I got a couple quotes. And one from JRB and one from Harrob. And leaning towards Harrob because they're within, well, they're actually cheaper, but for the same thing, but Harrob gave us a quote for if we had to replace any of the castings, which you saw some of the pictures of what we had to replace, and so it probably
She's getting a little crusty under there.
some problems with the casting, so they gave us the quote of $2,381 if the casting has to be replaced. And $1,500.47 if it doesn't have to be replaced.
You got a quote number for that, Jerry?
Quote number just says pump package.
Make a motion for that one. That's
Make a
right.
motion to
Yes.
approve, quote, pump packing, not to exceed $2,381
I second that.
to Hard Rock.
Any further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
And we've got the hoses. We've been on order for the hoses that we lost at some of the last fires, but they're still, everything's slow on coming. And did get the turnout gear all but, the boots, everything but the boots has come in and been distributed to the members that needed it.
You'll get there.
Yep. I guess that's all we got. Plus, you guys have any questions?
No, I think we're good, Jerry. I'm sure something will come up in the meantime.
Thank you.
Brian?
Alrighty, for February, moderate call volume. No tickets issued, no arrests, no village, outside village assist, we didn't have any, vehicle mileage, vehicle, all the ones still being fixed. Still looking for a part-timer. I had one reach out to me a few weeks ago. The individual is still employed full-time, but is looking to come over part-time when the person retires. Deputy is a SRO, so I'm thinking after school lets out, I'll hear more. But I haven't, Debbie reached out to me once, and I haven't heard anything yet, so they're gonna let me know. Obviously, we still have Kevin doing security for the court. We got the new prescription medicine drop-off box last week that arrived here. Just speaking with Fran here, the company is doing a work order, so when that is complete, they will pick up the old one and take that away and then put the new one out there. And then any prescription drugs that we have here still in the boxes, they're gonna take those also. So let's take everything and then we won't have to, we can still participate in the drug drop off, but they'll come and pick it up all the time, so we don't really have to worry about it if we don't. Even when we did participate, we didn't have many because people came, prior to that and dumped them off, so then you'd have to wait. We may have had 2 people show up, but other than that, they come pretty regularly to drop them off. So we got boxes back in the garage that are full that will be taken from this company, so we'll wait till we complete that and then one more. I'm looking to get a handheld radar from Mako Salerno, which it's not mounted, it's handheld, so it's better to do radar in the village. It's a lot more, it won't be face on all the time, we can kind of hide a little better. So he's supposed to have the quote from me today, but I didn't get it, so I'll have it for next month when it comes in. Other than that, that's about it for now.
Do you have that, can you get that potential officer's information to Dan, so he has that?
Yeah, we did speak. He has it.
Yeah.
So he's well aware. But like I said, I haven't heard from the deputy yet. But they reached out to me and were interested, and we had a conversation about it. So I'm happy. I'll definitely let Dan know. He
Think
did.
they'd be
Yeah, they
interested?
reached out to me last week?
Yeah.
Asking and nothing yet.
You think they'd be interested in part-time before they retire?
Well, they're doing part-time somewhere else right now.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I know the deputy wanted to get a couple things figured out before, they actually committed, so.
Even if it was like 1 or 2 nights a week, if they wanted to do it.
I mean, I could reach out.
Yeah,
and
if you
ask
would,
the
that'd be
deputy,
great.
I can do that and find out where the deputy stands.
Awesome.
And, go from there.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Mr. Breen.
I think winter's finally over.
There you go.
Supposed to snow tomorrow.
Have you not seen it snow in
Last
March and
Friday.
April?
Did this morning.
My phone says snow tomorrow. We all know Frank.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
Last Friday, it's official.
All the trucks are currently functioning, so if it does, we're ready again.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, definitely would have been a interesting long winter.
For sure. Got a few signs straightened back out that saw some carnage over the plowing.
Yes, I seen in our early morning travels, the car tracks leading right to them.
Starting on repairing plow damage now, so we'll get there.
Oh, I'm sure you will. When do you think they're opening the asphalt plant up to get some real stuff instead of this cold patch?
I'm gonna call tomorrow and find out, cause
I thought it was like first week of April they usually open up or something like
it's,
that.
you're right.
Cold pack from where?
We got some from Butler this year.
Oh, this year? Oh, it's a year old,
It seemed all right when we were working it. As far as cold patch goes, and nobody else had any fresher than last year's.
Well, keep at it. So, at a high level, we have that Pathways grant. Dwayne Wesley got me a quote. We are within the realm of that. The question is, I'll have you get with him because it got extended to the 26th of May, and this is just for the crosswalk in front of the middle school.
Right.
So it's just saw cutting both curbs, and then obviously we're gonna put the blind mats down, and then that section of concrete in between the two.
Yep.
But so we have the quote for that already. I just want to make sure that's something that you feel you can get completed too within that, and then I'll just have you coincide with Dwayne to
See when he's available.
get it done.
All right.
Where are we putting it exactly?
When you come out of
off the end.
straight out of the front of the middle school. So obviously we'll need to have some additional crosswalk signs put up, for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, we got a little bit of extension on it because that was a concern was weather.
Well,
Obviously.
that's what happened last year with the other one. We were ready. He
Oh yeah,
just kept
yeah.
raining.
But now we're right here in spring,
Yeah.
so we'll see where that goes. But anyway, so that we're in that extension helped out. Like I said, we're in the dollar figure amount to make sure that we're okay. So we'll get all that information forwarded out and go from there.
All right.
Ed.
All right.
Oh man, we got a note.
No, there's been a lot of stuff. No, there's been a lot of stuff going on. So springs are strong. We got to finish the water service for Draper Street for the new construction house down there.
Wow, new. Pretty good.
Well,
Give it to someone.
however it's turned. I need brass for repairs. Gave Danny a list right there. It's boxes, curb stops, rods, and then meter unions because we're getting a lot of development into multi-unit housing around here.
You think?
Yep, which is a great thing. So all that stuff will be absorbed eventually. So that's for 2060 something.
Make a motion to approve quote number 9527-1504 to FW Web. In the amount of $2,063.20.
Thank you.
Any further discussion, all in favor?
Sewer, we've been pulling a bunch of manholes, installing rain catchers, vapor link is repaired, which an email was sent out from the company that maintains it. And personnel, Devontae seems to be very eager and he's doing well.
It's good.
You know. And as for anything else, that's all I really got for right now.
So, did you have one worse than the other, or multiple ones with the rain stops that you put in that were getting infiltration? Or?
So on New Hartford Street, between Treasure's old house,
Okay.
and RGE, there was or I shouldn't say RGE, manhole in front of Wayback, or whatever we refer that to as now. There seemed to be a lot of, it picked up pretty heavy in between there. Nothing that I could say for sure would be like, but it's odd because coming from the commercial side, the industrial side or whatever with McDonald's, Fast Track, all that stuff, there was minimum flow coming down, you know, the cash apartments, minimum flow. And then we get up a little bit further and the flow increased. Then we did the rest of New Hartford Street. It seemed to be pretty stable. We did Draper Street. We got a couple manholes that just won't open up. They're welded shut to each other, or however it is. We beat them to death with sledgehammers and couldn't get them free. So we'll have to probably look at that. It was breaking the asphalt around and the whole ring wanted to lift up. But there was nothing really there. We had a lot of flow coming through the manholes in the back of the trailer park, but that comes down Wilson Road and shoots across and then heads north off Wilson Road through the woods up through and then picks up the trailer park. I thought I had something in the trailer park, but it was nothing. I thought maybe we had a storm drain connected in over there and dye tested it. Didn't pan out to anything. So during those big rain events, we tested Twisted Creek again, zero flow. The repairs that Pomona made, no flow. So during the hot spot areas that we were focusing on, I think those are resolved and we need to look elsewhere. I do feel like we may have something going on somewhere because we had a rain anomaly and within 20 minutes of the heavy rain, the flows picked up quite a bit. So it makes me think that there's a manhole cover somewheres, could be in the woods. I don't know. Something's coming in. Something was pulling and draining in. And then obviously I feel like we have a lot of illegal sump pump connections where people are discharging sump pumps into sanitary sewer because it just seems to be rain events, and that's not going to account for the volume that we have, but every little bit counts. So
It does.
I don't have anything other than that. We haven't, I mean, there's such a huge footprint to cover.
So when you were mentioning, New Hartford Street, so obviously, we have a ton of runoff basically from Water Tower to New Hartford. I mean, that water, any of those locations in there, you think that might be having something hooked up? Or, I mean, if you're seeing your flow increase, I mean, because literally it's a river of water up until
Right.
July. running down through
So,
there.
like I said,
And I mean, even the creek there, I call it a creek because, obviously I call it the lake shore. But
right.
the dead of winter, I mean, there'll be 3 inches of water out front running to the manhole.
Right.
Basically coming down by Alex's driveway.
That comes from a sump pump that comes out before the sidewalk and then it hits the sidewalk.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's a ton of water in that whole
Yeah.
area back there.
Right, it kind of funnels down in and
Yeah.
runs through there. Yeah, I mean, I just know like south of it can't really pinpoint anything. Just the manholes from Lakeshore Ambulance south to just past RGE, somewhere's around Treasure's house. Somewhere in there we collected because there's a manhole there, there's a manhole here, the one up. We have no flow here, but all of a sudden we got a lot of flow downstream up here in this section. You know, it seemed to be almost tripled from what was coming from Cash Apartments and McDonald's Fast Track area, all that stuff down through there.
Might be advantageous to get in there and camera the thing.
Yeah.
Set a robot down in there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's broken,
I mean, if you're talking that amount of flow increase in less than 1/10 of a mile.
Yeah.
Something's getting in there.
right. And like I said, we couldn't determine why or how, other than there's a physical difference between this manhole and that manhole. And the maps say there's nothing else that ties in there.
I'd say it'd be worth investigating a little further.
Do we have a camera?
We do not have a camera. That would be a robotics thing where they,
So this was before all of our times, but I do recall when they were doing the project off of Jefferson. I think then they dropped the robot down in by the old IGA, I think is where they plopped her. I think it's still in there because they lost one. Yeah.
Tried to get over the.
Yeah, over under the stores. Yeah.
Got lost.
Yep. So it's, I can make a couple phone calls too, see if some guys got some camera and equipment that can get down in there.
do you have?
My buddy works in the point, and I want to say he told me they had one. I just reached out.
Yeah, because that's a pretty short distance, and I'd
It
start
is.
on the high end, and just start seeing where the
Right.
don't fight yourself against the wall, run with it.
Yep.
See where it's coming down there.
I know Chamberlain has cameras, but they're septic.
Yeah.
generally.
Well, Dave would be one of my phone calls.
Right. I mean, if we could get some other municipality to help us out a little bit, save a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
Always interested in that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, short distance just makes me interested when you have a volume pickup like that.
You know, and it's weird because, like I said, I looked at RGE's roof and stuff like that. And I just don't see where it looks like their stuff drains right onto the blacktop. Fast Tracks, that drops right onto the asphalt. McDonald's does the same thing. And when we pulled that during the rain, there was no flow coming down there until we got up past Treasures, and then, like I said, from there pulled the next manhole up down there, and it had significantly increased.
Let's see if we can devise a plan to get that looked at.
Sounds good.
What else you got, Ed?
Well, I really don't have anything.
I mean, we have the list for the open water sewer accounts.
We got
Obviously,
$90,000 open.
that is correct. $90,000 in owed payments. I went through the list. I would say that probably, and I would say past history, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say in the next couple of weeks, you're probably gonna knock better than half of that off. Because we've steadily been hanging around that $35,000-$40,000.
There's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people that, I mean, obviously we have the repeats, but there's a lot of people that wait till the last minute. So,
We'll get there. We'll go through this cycle here, then we'll see where it's at, and then have to do some more reaching out and see if we can get these caught up.
yeah, because I think this is our last opportunity. Is that right, Fran?
Yep, this is the last one to get
Re-levy.
levied. If they're not paid by the end of April.
So, social media land, did you all hear that? This is your last cycle to get your water bills caught up and paid. If not, get re-levied on your taxes.
And a fee gets added to it.
And there's a fee added to it. So, you've been notified. Some of you already know though. February 2026 treasury report and financials.
Make a motion to approve February 2026 treasurer's report financials.
Second.
Any further discussion on favor?
Make a motion to approve the March 10th, 2026 regular board meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion on favor?
Make a motion to approve fire hall facilities use request for April 11th birthday party.
Second.
Any further discussion on favor?
Make a motion to approve facilities use request Northrop Park
A second.
for 8/22/26.
Any further discussion on favor?
Aye.
They got a food truck, is that gonna affect that?
They've got the information to submit their application in.
Okay, I was concerned about that.
Make a motion to approve facilities use request Northrop Park April 5th. Local council of churches.
A second there.
Any further discussion on favor?
Jerry, I'm gonna sign that. So Chris, it's RG&E and nice, I got the incorrect date, it's actually the 26th, not the 27th.
Uh-oh.
27th for you, the 26th for the community.
Yeah, so I've seen it posted out there too. So there's a community connection event at the Wallington Fire Department on Thursday, right, Fran?
Yeah.
For the public to attend. Did they have to sign up or that was just open
No, it's
walk-in,
basically,
right?
it looks like, when I look at it, looks like it's more like an open house, because they said there's not even like certain times you come in, it says when you come in, they'll talk to you and stuff like that. Says they can arrive at any time during the event, there's no formal presentation.
Okay, there you go, folks. So for me, let me see. So we got the quote for the sidewalks, for pathways. I do have to go to the executive for personal and contractual. I think we're all done with the ice skating rink, don't you? I hope everybody enjoyed the use that they got out of this year. So
I mean, like this year or forever?
no, not forever. You'll put it up next fall.
Yeah, we're done with it for this year.
Yeah, for this year. But yeah, I did had the opportunity to see some kids out there enjoying it. Still good to see. We do have a couple things. We're going to try to get a couple repairs in. We may, I don't know if we can get it done before our budget ends in June, but we were talking about getting Main Street oiled and stoned.
Oiled and stone, I thought you said milled and repaved.
If they can get that part, and that's what I'm saying. So we may have to go the other direction if we can't get that in before.
All right,
Budget
and
ends.
start at pit stop where we started that time, last
That's all
time.
new in the intersection. The whole intersection's new.
Oh, all
We
right,
basically got to start at the crosswalk,
and
and then I would say we might go right to Leavenworth or Jefferson. Not even Jefferson. Yeah, Jefferson. Stop right there.
Right.
That way, that'll cover the whole length. And then the key is though we want to make sure that that we can get it restriped.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and not wait till we normally do it in the fall. So
Yeah.
that way. And again, the issue is that we have Strawberry Festival and all of that, so I'm not quite sure we can get that completed.
I
In
did
that
talk to
time.
Greg from Rosselli today. I'll call him back tomorrow.
Yeah, so if they can mill it and do that same, and I would put that flex in there, like we did at the intersection, it just seems to hold up better. But like I said, I was a little apprehensive if we would get that deep if we can get it done that quick. That's all I have till executive. Misty, anything for the group?
No?
Mark? Marshall?
There's been some concern about the fire department parking lot.
Yep, hasn't been forgotten.
I was gonna bring that up too, but they were wondering if, I told them that it hadn't been forgotten, but they were wondering if maybe some stone could be put in some of the holes that are getting really deep now.
Oh, we can surely do that.
Is there any way of patching them, or I don't know, Chris, is there any way of patching them up?
There's really nothing underneath.
No,
No, there isn't. There's no base under it.
they don't work very good then.
No,
Just
I
come
mean, you're just
Throwing it away.
throwing it away, really.
So at a very high level, Jerry, the way that I had looked at it, and we were trying to use some additional funds that we have, because obviously the budget goes June to June. So the initial one was basically come straight off from the Quint Bay, that entire bay, square that off, and then go east all the way to the storage building out back. So that covered that north end of the building and get that section taken, because that's where it's the worst right now.
Yeah.
And then we'll address the others as we go, but that was just gonna be take that up, whatever we got there, and then, cause, fall time, I had a quick conversation with Garrett, and, they offered up their services to help, take that out, and then I figured we just put binder down, and then if we ended up just put that light stone over it after that, but getting that section taken care of, because that's definitely the worst. So, but yeah, it hasn't been forgotten by all
I
means.
know, I told him that, and Bob's told him that, but they just have the concern, so we're bringing it to attention again.
Yep. And it's getting them in there to do it, so that was
The weather has been,
well, I mean, it's winter anyways, but like I said, that's what I'm up against, to see if we can get Main Street done before Strawberry Festival. And then if that was the case, we may have that done at the same time. That was what I'm trying to figure out. And, the other side of it, if we had enough money to finish doing the front, I would really hope we had better weather, because we have to relocate the trucks.
Yep.
For several days anyways.
Yep.
A, we gotta watch the weather. B, we know they can't drive on it for a few days anyway, so.
Yep.
We gotta find a place to house them as well. So, but anyways, that's the first one, is, like I said, I wanted to come straight off the Quint to Westport, square that off, and then go all the way to the east to cover the whole north end. So we can tie in either direction from there. Because typically it's a shorter seam to have anyways.
Yep.
But that's what we're looking at.
thank you.
Daniel?
Yeah, if we, had any interest in our part-time highway position?
I don't think it's I think it's going out this weekend or next weekend in the paper. That's what
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it
Yeah,
hasn't.
but I was talking to the guys about it, maybe some different options, so I'll reach out to you guys. So, Ed and Chris Green.
Like options.
Options. Do we really need a part-time guy?
I don't know. I mean, Tommy did most of the mowing last year. Depends how many customers, people don't want to mow their lawns. So, but I mean, there were some habitual ones that didn't do it last year, and they'd get mowed, and then they wouldn't get mowed until they got to be a
Well, they
foot
won't mow
again.
until they get the letter.
What's that?
They won't mow them until they get the letter.
No, and even then, a lot of times they don't mow. The problem is once we send that letter, you only got to send it once. And then we just get it on the rotation every other week or whatever. But I mean, sometimes
And then Ed said that he said something
Gross.
to Garth and Devontae that they would be responsible for picking it up with Tommy gone.
We will have availability. I mean, we have time in that particular department on our rotations. Should have no problem picking up where Tommy left off.
okay, well,
We do that.
yeah, I'm hoping that it's a little better this year than even in the past. And I don't know that it was all necessarily on Tommy.
No, I'm
But I
just
just-
saying our rotation will permit
Okay,
time to spend a few hours once every couple weeks to
Yeah.
work with Eva and the list of, or whoever's generating the list.
okay, yeah, because once that letter goes out or whatever, and if they don't mow it, I mean, it really needs to be like in every other
Right.
week, especially when the grass is really growing.
And then there's sometimes that
That's what we did when Tommy was out. Was,
Just let the grass grow.
yeah, we just let the grass grow.
I know.
No, it was taken care of.
Wait till Tommy got back.
Yes,
Running the goats.
We sent him out there. We sent him out there with a farm all and a hay wagon. Yeah.
There were a couple places. Look, if you guys can work it out or whatever, and it gets done, then that's great. Then we don't.
But I knew we had other things that were on the list too, so.
There is like painting the fire hydrants. That was one thing. So, I mean, there's a whole list. There's definitely enough work.
Right.
For a part-timer.
I feel like we can manage this.
If we can manage
I
and keep
just
overtime
feel
at a
like we can
minimal
manage
and
this.
everything else, I'm all for it.
I feel like we can manage this. And if we can't and we start to fall behind, I'm open to whatever. But I feel like we have the opportunity and we can.
Okay, well, if we're already running the ad, I would just feel better
Yep.
to bring somebody in. And I mean, this is really gonna be on a limited time basis, maybe even a call-in basis. So I would rather, because this person could also assist with potentially plowing snow blowing the sidewalks and stuff like that in the winter if you're down a guy or two or anything else.
They would both gladly let somebody
Yeah, I'm
else do
sure
it.
they would. I'm sure they would. So if we can just keep running that, and then if we get some
That's fine,
interest,
too.
maybe interview them and just explain. And if you need them, great. If not, great.
I figured it'd be worth at least seeing if anybody applied for it. I mean,
Right.
school's gonna be out pretty soon, college kids are gonna be home.
Yep.
Let's see what goes, let's see what happens.
Okay. Let me know if you would, Fran, if we get applicants on that.
I think I asked him, because I wasn't sure of the timeline, so I think I asked him to start this week. It's gonna be in the Times of Lake County
Okay.
for 2 weeks.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I got.
Dave, anything for the group?
No.
Jerry, you remember anything you can talk about? Jack, anything for the group?
I'm good.
Eva?
No.
Ed, Chris, going once, going twice?
Executive session. I make a motion for personnel and contractual at 7:37.